Alright, hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Alex, and I'm going to just be doing this by myself, and we're just going to call this the grind, because guess what? I have to grind out all the extra parts on my own. So, as you can see, we kind of left off on a weird spot where we beat the hard mode boss, but, as it would turn out, that really doesn't matter, just due to the fact that, like, we have to beat the whole thing. So today I'm just going to be doing this grind. I'm probably telling a story or something. I don't really know, but I'm sitting by myself. Catherine, Cole. Catherine's sick today. Cole didn't want to come because Catherine was sick, and then Sean's over at practice or whatever he does every day. So, we may be near the end of this, though. I'm not quite sure how many enemies I have to kill. But, as you can see, I can get a little hectic, and I'm not very good at this game, so it doesn't really stack up. So, type in Cole's comment section what y'all did for Halloween. I'm intrigued. I'll read it. And, let me tell you what we did. So, the crew went over to Cole's girlfriend, Katherine. We went to her house, and we watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Like, the Quest for the Holy Grail, or whatever it's actually called. And after we did that, we watched just like a different movie. I don't remember what it was called, really. But Sean and I went with this girl named Caitlin. She was pretty cool. And what we did was we went and got canes, and that was fun. When we came back, we were watching, or Cole and Catherine were watching Fairy Tale, right? So that was pretty interesting. We made fun of Cole because he normally just does not like anime, as you all may know. But so I got a story to tell. I was in math class today, right? And it was pretty calm, pretty quiet. My teacher was shouting, getting agitated as usual, just because he works till like 3:30 apparently, bartending. And I was like, "Sir, that's a bad idea." But there's a girl, and we're gonna call her. That's a good girl's name. Jenny. Jenny sounds like a good girl's name. Jenny. I was talking. I'm like, "Hey, Jenny, what did y'all?" Well, I said it to the class, but then Jenny was like, "Oh, you want to hear what I did?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds interesting." Well, it turns out Jenny had gone to a party and had been drinking. And we're not talking about like that weak stuff. Like she said, like she had been drinking a lot. And then apparently she decided to go on and drive. And we were like, "Holy, you're stupid." And she was like, "It was dumb." And we were like, "Yeah, no duh." But she was like, "Oh well." And we're just like, "Holy Jenny, you're dumb." But this other kid, let's call him Bobby. He like didn't care at all. He was like, "Yeah, whatever. You know, it's her life. Let her do what she wants." And I was like, "No, this is probably a bad idea for her." But so let's see. All right, well, on this grind, as I'll call it. Oh wait, I think I got rid of the determination thing. Yep, determination. Okay, I'm not sure how many more things I need to clear up. So another interesting thing that's happened to me in my life, and this is throughout my entire life, not just like one small piece of it, and this is probably my favorite story to ever tell, is the story of... Oh, nobody came. Alright, good. Cool, I've killed everybody. So, wow, this grind didn't really take all that long, which makes me sad, because I have a good story. If I need to kill Toriel again, we'll see what it actually ends up being. But, because it is kind of an interesting story, but it's not interesting enough to, like, leave you on it. Oh, where is it? Oh, I think I should play upstairs instead. Where? Alright, I guess it is, because I have to do all this text scrolling. And y'all will have already seen this. And it's not too interesting. But that's like kind of interesting. Actually, what do I have? I have 2 spider donuts left. Okay, cool. And I'm level 5, which is good. So, alright. So this is gonna take you all the way back to the summer. Let's say 4 months ago? It's November, so it'd be the 7th month. So about 4 months ago. Almost to the day. And, no, excuse me. Crap, I'm trying to read text as I play. Like, text scroll. But, so yeah, I was like, alright, so we're gonna call, there's me, I'm Alex, or Xander in this story, and then there's this girl, what's another good girl name? We'll call her Amanda, alright? And, so, like, Amanda and I are at this thing. And let me tell you, I am 16 at this point. She is 12. Now, this is like a church camp, so, well, you don't believe in God. Yeah, whatever. So, I'm like, oh God. Oh, God. Uh-oh. Now I see who I was protecting by keeping you here. Not you. But them. And that's the end of hard mode. Oh, you're ending it now? On such a dramatic moment? That's the difficult part. Not the bullets, but accepting that it's all over. But there will be more, will there not be? Maybe. Knowing the answer is hard. Hey, aren't you supposed to be dying or something? Well, what's the point of that now? Perhaps I will bake another pie. The last one ended up a little burned. I thought it was good, theoretically. It's not that I hated all while you were fighting. Okay, so, yeah, we've already seen all this. I thought you would actually die this time. So maybe I have to insert a name. If I do, this becomes my playthrough. Because I am the one who's going to end up playing the game. Let's just make it up. Alright, so Amanda and I, alright, she's a 7th grader, I'm a junior, like Cole, Katherine, and Sean. And we're divided up in 3 groups, green, red, and blue. Green is 7th and 8th, red is 9th and 10th, and blue is 11, 12, and graduates. And so we're going along, and there's like classes, there's like a morning thing which is called Zukuru, which is just to get you up and awake, because usually you stay up till at least midnight. That's just like a general rule of thumb, is that you're going to stay up till midnight pretty much every day. But, so in Zukuru, after like the first night, like we get there around 2, 3? We're pretty early this time. We did pretty well. So, she's like, hey Xander, come sit with me. But she has like this raspy voice because she's like been at some other camp and she lost her voice. So she's like, Xander. And this, remember that noise because that'll play into a different story. So she's like, Xander, come sit with me. I was like, okay, I don't see a problem with this because I was still next to my friends, but it was like her, myself, and then Sean, who was also on this adventure. Nobody really plays an important role in this story. So breakfast rolls around, she's like, Xander, come sit down. Or like, I'm sitting down, I get there, first thing, I'm the first person sitting there, because I just, I don't know, I think I actually do have to. Right, well, we'll just see. Cole, edit here if I don't finish, and then I'll like finish the story after I say cut. Alright. Cut, Cole! We're just gonna have to edit all this out in post. y'all want to add me, my name is Swell_fellow with a trademark. I guess a little flag on. I'm pretty cool, I gotta say. But, you know, so there's like a lot of different things that go along with this story. I'm looking at you, camera. For the launch. I went off. He was asking me if I did it the right way. The way that I like to play. No, no. Alright, well. Boom. Alright. So. Let's name it the initials of all of us together. Alright, so A for Alex. C for Cole. K for Katherine. Axe. I had to ask you a question. Axe. Yes. Alex, Cole, Katherine, Shaw. Alright, so essentially, like, alright, so uncut, because I guess we're back here and this is going to be the grind, so this could be a long episode or go and cut it into separate parts, but I want these readers to hear the story because it's kind of interesting and at the same time kind of not. Little white friendliness pellets. You ready? Move around, get as many as you can. And no thanks. Oh wait, this goes faster if I just take them. Alright, so Zoo Crew, I'm like, she's like, hey, come sit next to me, and I'm like, alright, alright, breakfast. I was at breakfast. So breakfast, I'm sitting, and I'm like, okay, I have no problem with, like, her sitting next to me. There's nothing wrong with that. And then all of this, like, you know, she just, like, comes, sits right next to me. And let me tell you, this is like a circular table, alright? Like, seats 8 with, like, plenty of, well, yeah, with, like, plenty of room in between, right? She comes, pulls up a chair right next to me. Like, imagine this is the amount of space. This arm right here is the amount of space in between her and I. I'm like, oh God. Just trying to get some of that. But, so, that's the thing that happened. And I was like, okay, well, I still see no problem. But some people might be like, oh, you're creepy. You're going to try and rape a little girl. I'm like, nope. That's a good try, though. So, after that, we have Zoo Crew, right? And then, so that's just one thing. She's like, oh, come sit next to me. And I'm like, alright, fine, I guess. I'm like, okay. So, again, I see no problem with this, but I realized all of my mistakes pretty much like 2 months after. Something like 2 months. So, I do that. And now I just all the regrets hitting me all the rugrats are hitting me at once. But so like the day finishes all the classes and they're like an hour long. And for Blue Group it's class, food. So we get to go from food to rec, which rec is just like 3 hours of do whatever you want within like the confines of the area. And this is a college campus, by the way. So there's like plenty to do, right? So, I'm playing ERS, which is like a game, it's sort of like Slapjack, but it takes like somewhat more skill, and it's also just about the same amount of luck. And I'm like super good at that. I guess I'd say I'm pretty good at the game. Huh? Oh. Find better than an old woman like me. Rip. like, you happy to call me mother? Well then, call me whatever you like. Like, okay. Alright, yeah. Dialing. This is Toriel. You want to know about me? Well, I'm afraid there's not much to say. I am just silly little lady who worries too much. Alright, well, interesting. Where was I in my story? Oh yeah, so right. She comes, sits right next to me for the entire duration, essentially. I forgot something. Like, for the entire duration of rec, and leaves. They have, like, individualized girls and guys swimming, because they don't think that it'll be appropriate for both genders to, like, be at the same swim, because guys and girls can't control their emotions or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I feel like scum of the earth. Rip. Anyways, as I was saying, oh, he died fast. He died. Did he? So yeah, she sits next to me basically for 3 hours, and this is a game where, like, sometimes hands end up top, like, on top of each other. Yeah, it's butterscotch. Truthfully, when I first saw you, I felt like I was seeing an old friend for the first time. Da 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 da. Strange, is it not? Well, thank you for your selection. Click. It's actually kind of different. Hello, this is Toriel. You do not dislike cinnamon, do you? I know your preferences, but as you turn up your nose, have you found one on your plate? Right, I understand. Thanks for being patient, by the way. So, yeah, so she, like, leaves her hand on top of mine for a longer period of time than most normal people would. My brain didn't make the connection then, but it certainly has made the connection now. And it's because she wanted to leave her hand there for an odd amount of time. But, look at that, clean. But, so, you know, that was weird. But not, like, then. But now I'm like, oh, God, she was trying to get some of that good old, you know. And so that happened. So day 2 rolls around, and I'm like, okay, I don't really, like, see anything weird still. Basically, same routine. She comes, sits right next to me for breakfast for Zoo Crew. Oh yeah, and in the evening we have, like, evening worship, and it's just really, like, awkward because she, like, is trying to come and sit next to me or whatever, and I'm just like, I feel uncomfortable after a while, because my friend Greer, he plays kind of an important role in this, like, brings up a pretty valid argument that actually he says some pretty inappropriate things, but he's the one who, like, brings it to my attention, something that I've just been zoning out because I just didn't want to think about it. And so he's like, yo, Xander, you've noticed this, right? And I'm like, oh, he's right. But I'm like, she, like, finds her way to forcibly sit next to me. So, I mean, that's kind of, like, the whole story of her. And she just, like, followed me around. And she did it, like, all summer. Oh, yeah, I forgot that you lose an experience. She does this all summer. And I'm like, ugh. So, that was an interesting experience. I should have bought. Whatever. Alright, there we go. My dog's trying to walk in. So, it was an interesting adventure. But, you know. That's just sometimes how it goes. Also, if you're doing one of these runs, don't forget to fight this guy, because it's kind of important that you don't forget, because that's an entire enemy that you could forget about, and then you would probably not quickly be able to figure out what the problem was. But I only have 7 items, and I want to leave room for that piece of pie that I get later. So there's the switch. I believe that you could just drop down. I want to spare it so bad, because I played through the first time and I just spared, and this just gets annoying. Because if you don't kill this guy, the butterflies just keep going, but then this guy does a little wiggle worm. I also feel like I'm getting XP a lot slower than I'm supposed to. But you know what's interesting is that all the boss creatures, except for 2 of them, die in 1 hit if you've killed every enemy, and I don't think that happens normally. Which is quite weird when you think about it. Hell, 3, cool. That was another interesting tale that happened there. Oh yeah, so I have this interesting little birthmark on the side of my head, right? And I'm like, something feels weird, and I feel the side of my head, and there's just blood all over my hand, and I can like barely see it because we're in like a dark room. I was like, oh great. And so I have to like walk over to the nurse's station. I was like, hey, the side of my head's bleeding. Which way is the nurse? And they're like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I'm like, they're super worried, as I guess they should be normally, but I was like, oh yeah, I'm completely fine. There's really nothing wrong. But they're scared to death that I'm, dying or something. And I'm just like, oh, this has just happened before. It's just, this weird little thing on the side of my head. And they're like, he's gonna bleed out. So they're really worried, but I was like, I'm fine. Just hurry up and put a bandage on it or something, please. I just want to go back. So I get all bandaged up, and it was funny because we were like watching this dramatic play, and me and my friends still like quote the thing occasionally, a different one, but like, I don't know. That's always interesting. I quite enjoy like listening to it. Just a lot of the time there's always something interesting in the plays, but this grind's taking a lot longer than I would have wanted. I believe there's something to the right of this room, but yep, the knife, the knife. Oh, I took 4 pieces. I'm a bad child. So, I'm gonna just see if I can go ahead and... what do I do? Because I know that the stick is really useful later. So I'm gonna just go back and grind out the rest of the zombies. Continuing to tell stories. Oh yeah, so we're playing Never Have I Ever, and I guess I can say this story doesn't make sense, but essentially I just ended up winning, which is also kind of losing, but I was like the last person in the game, and I still had like 5 hits left, which is like a lot in perspective, because like most of those people, when we left off I had 7 and most people had like 2, 1, 2, or maybe 3, I think 1 or 2 people had, and I was like, geez, how do you guys have so little? And they were like, well, you just have no fun. And I was like, look, I play games with my friends, and we play games just to have fun, alright? Don't hate, because you ain't. But, oh yeah, so I was watching the guy where I got like the whole reptilian brotherhood thing, and it was really funny because he was like, holy, they've taken over everything. Every CSGO streamer, their chat is just full of hisses. So, you know, if you love Cole, you're gonna fill his chat or all of his comments with everything with just hiss, hiss, and he'll be really confused up until he actually finishes editing this video. Also, Cole, you know, we have some, we as in I have some questions. You know, what's your favorite color? All right, yeah, cool. Now, what's your favorite animal? Now, put those two things together and make that color on that animal. Whoa! All right, that was pretty awesome. All right. Now, I don't know. What's another interesting story of my lifetime? Dog, do you know? Oh, it's only once I started moving that I got hurt. You didn't actually want to hurt me, eh? I think 4 might be the level cap for this area, and there might not be any. I'm probably gonna eat a piece of the monster candy, because I want the piece of pie. Always? Damacia. Always and forever. Oh yeah, if y'all want to see something else on Cole's channel, I have a pretty full Steam library, and I'm willing to just record stuff and send it to him for fun, because I don't know, I don't get much homework as many people made it out to be at the beginning of the year, and I'm happy with that. Tomorrow I get to do a lab about thermochemistry, and I have no idea what I'm actually going to end up doing. Look at that fresh morning taste when he throws onions at me. Onions are vegetables. They just don't taste very good. Oh, my poor dog. She chewed up her tail the other day. Started bleeding everywhere. I know, we put a cone on her, and she's all sad because she can't lay down properly anymore. All she does is whimper. She also likes just getting a lot of attention, but most people are too busy now. And, you know, sometimes it's just how life happens to work out, you know? Sometimes you're just too busy to pet a dog. And, you know, some people might say that's a sad existence. I'd agree. Oh, wiggly boo. But so is destroying every enemy. It's also a sad existence that's all I get to do. At least for now. I don't have any other commentators, so I can't really balance back. And, you know, that's something interesting. I never understood how, like, Cole does solo Let's Plays. I know my buddy Connor does it. You guys should check him out. I think his name is, like, Spankly or something. It's something weird. I don't know. But he does more variety games. I don't know what he actually really plays anymore, but sometimes it's interesting. And now my dog is getting frustrated, so Molly! Dad, I think she wants something. I don't... To get out? Attention? Alright, well... Alright, come on. Cole edit out that shouting. I think you might be able to one-hit these guys. Or at least the mold guy. As it doesn't seem very strong. But interestingly enough, hard mode just... They actually should have made hard mode like a full game mode instead of just the normal mode. Because, I wouldn't say normal mode was easy, but they came up with enemy sprites that are never ever used other than for that thing. The Vegetoid, that guy, and the mold guy. Those 3 are never used. And then the other advanced enemies are, and let me tell you, they are insanely difficult to fight together, or like a 3-on-1. And that first episode that you see is, that's probably the only situation where it's really gonna be used. Oh my gosh. Oh! Cut. Goal. Oh, it still hears me. Great. Alright. Well, that's a little bit annoying. But that is just kind of how it has to happen. I thought that maybe possibly muting my mic might have worked. But it seems that the button, for the most part, had broken down. I did not know that. Yeah, sorry about that. Cool if you'll edit up all the parts of my dog barking. That'd be great. I'd appreciate that. Or make a remix of it. If you made a remix, like my dog barking the YMCA, that'd be also interesting. Alright, so, you know another interesting story. How many times have you ever heard, like, people... I think I was on, like, the subject of solo Let's Plays at some point. Oh yeah, my buddy Katherine. Oh, no one came. Alright, we're done here. I was gonna go kill Toriel. Very sad. Very sad. Smiter. So, I think solo Let's Players are interesting because they're not even necessarily scripted, but they just go on by themselves. And I'm like, how are you able to do that? Like, for the most part, I just get tired of speaking. Like, at this point, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what Cole really talks about. I guess, like, maybe he's been going on in a series or for a while. We're gonna take a nap now. But I was watching these people, right? And I was like, whoa. Oh. Oh! That's insane. All my HP. I think except for one actually is what this text reads. So we're actually gonna put that in our box. The box just comes a little bit later. And I don't know, it just comes a little bit later. And it's kind of an annoying little bit, but or it's a helpful bit, because it's just a storage area. And we use the storage just like, I don't know what's the term that I'm looking for. So that sometimes you can use stuff later. Like there's the stick is gonna come in use later. You could get rid of it, but it's so helpful. Toriel blocks the way. X. Goodbye. Alright. That time we did 22,000. You really hate me that much? No, you just were in my way. Now I see who I was protecting by keeping you in here. Or by keeping you here. Not you, but them. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Alright, well, this actually leaves off at a pretty good spot, knowing that I really don't have too much more to really say on my own. So I'm just gonna exit the old ruins. And we didn't get to do this with Katherine Let's Play, but I like have to hit a save point, right? Unless I want to make this into 2 separate recordings, but Cole could use it just... Cole, just edit this part out when I'm talking to you. Cole, just edit this into, like, maybe 2 separate parts. Like... we're still inseparable after all these years. Listen, I have a plan to become all-powerful, even more powerful than you and your stolen soul. Let's destroy everything in this wretched world. Everyone, everything. Even in those worthless memories. Let's turn them all into dust. Right about here, and there's a save point. Or is Undertale. Undertale. By Toby Fax. So, I don't know. I guess Cole, let's just put this in 2 separate recordings, because, oh, God, is there no save spot? Okay. I think I can go back and just edit all of this out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Shoot! Leave. Dear God, let this be true. Alright. Yeah, cool. This is just a tech thing that you can edit, I'm sure. You're good at that kind of stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? Trying this over here. You can kind of see, I believe it's this poster right here. That's, I believe it was an old movie. Alright, and then, okay. Alright, yeah. It's too big of a hassle. Undertale. I have to do it again! Okay, this time I won't screw this up, I swear. Oh, I hope you like your room. Ha 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 ha. Not protecting you. We can just fast forward through this song. Should come back to a 16. Whack. Whack. Bye. Oh yeah, so I was talking to this girl today. I don't know how I actually feel about her, but I guess she's like my friend. So I was talking about eating breakfast, because a lot of people don't eat breakfast. And I was just like, man, you know what, I'm gonna bring you breakfast every B-day from now on, okay? And she was like, oh my gosh, really? And I was like, yep, I'm going to do this because you're my friend, and I'm going to make sure that you don't, like, you know, starve, because you seem to just not eat, and that's really bad for you, and I'm actually kind of worried about your health. And it was, like, genuine worry. So, you know, I was like, how are you ever going to survive if you're always, like, this hungry, honey? What are you doing with your life? So, I'm just gonna buy her food from now on. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I'm to walk with you again. It's bad that humans can't steal a monster soul. That'd be OP. Alright. So, now I believe that I end the recording and rename this the grind, because this really was a grind, because it was a double failure, because I forgot to save, because goal, edit this out, goal, edit this out, determination, oh gosh, level 6, attack 10, defense 1, armor's a bandage, I need the bandana. But we'll leave that up for a different time. So, good job, yes. I'm proud of that. And we're done.